Hey, Arthur.
Hey, Weekend, you're so amazing, eh?
Thank you.
And thanks so much for the great work you're doing, and the passion for people development is quite phenomenal. And I think one of the greatest investments you can ever make is to invest in people, people's growth, people's development, and most importantly, I think people's welfare as well.
That's
Mental
true.
welfare is very, very important. Looking out for other people and to ensure that people are able to live this life and actually have a reason to actually live. So thanks so much for all the work. By the way, Weekend has been nominated for a very prestigious award in Africa, and I'm going to challenge you after this show. Please go on my bio on my Facebook. I want you to vote for her.
Oh,
I'm going to be sending as well on
Arthur.
all my WhatsApp platforms. Please support Weekend. She deserves this.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. Thank you. So, 6 habits that will make you stand out. We are live as well on the Stipend Facebook page. Make sure you go watch.
So true. Weekend, I think we've made the point over and over again that human beings are creatures of habits. And once we get to that level and understanding that human beings are creatures of habits, it does actually help us to realize that if you want to stand out, you need to evaluate the habits that you're running with. And secondly, if you actually want to separate yourself, if the habits that you're currently running with are not serving you, you need to look and develop new and better habits that will serve you and that will help you to step out and stand out.
And stand out.
Realize this weekend you are not called to be like everyone else. You are called to be you. That's why you need to be able to understand that what's going to make you stand out is not doing what everyone is doing. Is to be able to identify your space, your area of influence, where God has actually called you, and to be able to run with these particular and specific habits that will actually help you to be standing out. And one of the things that I want to encourage everyone who's listening to us weekend is to be able to be intentional and deliberate. You don't stand out accidentally. Any person who is making history, any person who is making an impact, the reason why you've been recognized in Africa, where there are close to 1 billion people, is because you stood out. The question is, what did you do? And this is what I want to give people, just 6 habits that I think everyone must be able to start developing, and this will actually help you to stand out. Number one, we need to have a habit where we deliberately focus on the positive. And I want to emphasize the keywords: number one, focus; number two, the positive. The word focus presupposes that there's so many things, but you make a decision, weekend, to apply your mind to that one thing. Commit your mind to the focus, to focus on the things that are positive. Why? We live in an environment, weekend, where it's easy to be negative. It's so convenient at times to also sound negative.
Yeah.
That's why a number of people, we are not comfortable speaking about things that are actually happening in our lives. Why? Because the environment doesn't tolerate anyone who is positive. The environment is so accustomed and comfortable with people who are negative. So what we want to do is to deliberately get to a point where we develop a positive mindset. And once we develop a positive mindset, it will phenomenally transform your life. And one of the points that we need to stress, and I think we've made this point over and over again, what you focus on grows, and what you neglect dies. So what are you going to focus on? So be deliberate about finding the good things in life. No matter how troublesome your life is, there's something good to celebrate.
That's so true. And for some people, being positive to them is like, you just want to comfort
So true.
yourselves and, run away from your reality, which
Yeah.
is bad. But then it's not that.
Find that one thing that you can be thankful about.
Yeah. And there is.
So many things.
Yeah, yeah.
But you see, the reason why a number of people are not actually able to see that, because we are focusing on the negative to an extent that we're even blinded to the positive. So,
And
be
if you
deliberate.
focus on the negatives, there's a way that negative things just magnify.
So true. So what you give attention multiplies. What you neglect dies. Meaning, if you feed the negative mind, it's going to grow. It's going to solidify. It's going to amplify. So one of the consequences of being focused is amplification. Meaning, what you amplify is determined by what you're deliberately putting your mind to, which is why we want to encourage people to be deliberately positive. So there is a research which was actually done which shows that people who are usually positive, number one, they actually work on reducing their depression levels by just being positive. Why? Because you start seeing things differently. Secondly, it actually helps you to reduce stress and pain. So no matter what you're going through, weekend, because a number of people, many of them are listening to us right now, they're going through something.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I want you to always bear in mind, weekend, as we're doing these shows, always realize that people are recovering from things whether said or unsaid. Everyone is almost recovering from something. And everyone you see, no matter how much they're smiling, no matter how much good they're looking, they are fighting something.
That's
Always
so
realize
true.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
So people have been talking about the guy who was jumping. Guys, that guy, they are not different from any other people. Why? They are fighting battles. People need help. But most importantly, I want you to be deliberate as well about actually prioritizing your own recovery. So let's be deliberate about positive focus. That's the first habit that I want us to do. Number two, I want us to develop a habit where we get to listen more and talk less. One of the consequences and the tragedy of our generation is we think we've arrived. We think we know.
We know it all. What can you tell me? Like,
This
please.
is the tragedy. This is the tragedy.
It is a real tragedy.
What you're doing now, someone has been doing it for the past 20 years. Someone has been doing it for the past 30 years. Humility points you to a direction where there's more to learn. And how do you learn? You get to be able to develop the ability to actually listen to other people, and also get to understand. And this is one deliberate habit that I want many people to actually commit to, where you actually set aside the time just to listen. Get a mentor, for example. Listen to them. Follow through advice. Just for a moment, get to process that. See how does it work for your life. How can it actually help you improve your life? And once you do that, guess what? It helps you build better relationships. It even helps you develop your skills in problem solving. The majority of the things we are calling problems, someone already has got a testimony of it. Someone has already overcome that. But a number of times we can't benefit because the moment we're supposed to be learning, we are actually busy talking. That's why the Chinese says, wisdom listens, knowledge speaks. And I want you to operate at a wisdom level where you listen. And once you listen, guess what? It adds value to you. So, habit number two, develop deliberately the ability to listen more.
I've seen people in rooms with great people, and it's an opportunity to just listen. But they're not
Exactly.
No, I know I can talk, but then
Exactly.
wisdom is knowing when to talk
Yes.
and when to listen.
So true.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even if you've got some brilliant ideas, if you're operating at a wisdom level, you realize that the new things that you're going to listen to, you never heard them sometimes. It's always that fresh perspective, a new perspective that's going to change your life. Just being able to see things from a totally different perspective. So commit to listening. It will actually help you. And the third habit that I want to encourage everyone who wants to stand out weekend is let's normalize taking risks. And by taking risk, I'm talking about responsible risks. You'll never grow weekend by looking for security. You never grow by avoiding failure. You never grow by always doing constantly things that are easy. I think last time we were talking about learned helplessness, where people we effectively give up and we believe that we can't change anything. And this is what I want to encourage people, Vikende Kuti. Let's get to a point where we are willing to take risks for our own growth. Right now, people are looking forward to Valentine's, but there's one thing that I respect for everyone who's in a relationship. It's your ability to take a risk. You don't know this person. You just look at their face and you think they're good at. You just look at their body structure.
Assume.
You just assume after seeing them going down in church, like what you're complaining, and you think, this is close to divinity. So we take those risks where we say, I do, to someone you don't know. And I'm saying, if you're able to take a risk and believe that someone is going to be what they're promising you to be, why can't you take similar risks weekend
in life
and say, I'm going to start doing this course, I'm going to enroll in this program, I'm going to start doing this exercise, I'm going to change my time, which I've always been using when I'm sleeping, I'm going to try this new business venture, I'm going to put in my extra $20, my extra $100 on this. I want to see how it's going on. So I want many people to get to this level where we realize that growth, standing out, is your willingness, connected to your willingness and readiness to leave what you know and sometimes to venture into the unknown. If you had believed that you were destined to be what your degree says, Weekend, you would not be here.
Yeah.
But you had to take a risk. And this is the risk. I'm going to be on that microphone. Chances are they're going to like me or they're not. If they are not, it's okay. But what if they do like you?
What if they do? What if it works?
What if it works? So I want you to shift your thinking from not what if it fails to what if it succeeds. And the moment you learn to visualize the benefits and the rewards of success and less focus on the penalties of failure, this is actually going to set you up and going to help you to actually stand out. Take that risk. Because in life, the two things, it's either you succeed or you learn, not fail. It's either you succeed or you learn
From the mistakes.
from the mistakes.
Okay.
And by the way, human beings are actually trial and error creatures. That's why someone gets married today, it doesn't work, they move on to the next person. I'm not saying people should divorce, but this is the nature of human beings. You try a certain venture, it doesn't work, you move on to the next person. So this is what we want people to get to understand, that even if you fail, Vikendi, don't make that your permanent address. The people who are failing, I respect them because it means they're doing something, Vikendi. But you see, we've got a society that's so harsh
Come on.
at people who try. We've got a society that's so intolerant to people who try. We've got a toxic culture. Look at our Twitter. Look at our social media, Vikendi. We vilify, we attack, we savage people who are doing things. And the people who are not doing things, guess what? They get glorified just for idle chat. Be the person, Vikendi, who is not going to look for security. Be the person who is going to look for growth through embracing risks. So, I want you to notice one thing about taking risks. Number one, the benefit, if you take a risk, it's going to allow you to actually win. Because if you're not going to win on anything that you don't try. Number two, it's actually going to help you build your self-belief. In other words, you do something, it does work. There's something that it does in terms of building your self-confidence. Number three, it's actually going to be good for you because it helps you gather and build more opportunities. So many people are looking for opportunities, Weekend, but that's wrong. Make yourself visible to opportunities. And how do you make yourself visible to opportunities? Number one, by being willing to take risks. Number three, not being afraid to fail. And once you do that, guess what? It's so amazing. It will literally open doors for you. Let's go to the fourth habit. And the fourth habit, Weekend, is what I'm always emphasizing, is don't stop learning. Don't. The tragedy of our generation is we think when we hold our degree, we've arrived.
Yeah.
This is the reason. Please read my book called Toys for Adults. The point that I make is your degree can make you poor. I didn't say it will make you poor. It can.
It can.
Why? Because a number of times, the moment we hold on to our diploma, hold on to our certificate, we think that's it. But you see, there are hundreds, there are 300s, 400 of you with the same qualification. What's going to make you stand out is what you do post the qualification.
Because there are people who are holding on to their master's degree even.
Exactly.
And struggling.
So true.
Just looking at it, Kuti,
So true.
I have it, narrow degree rangu.
So true.
But then what are you doing?
That's exactly the point. So we need to develop a habit, a culture of continuous learning. Right now, more than ever before, we've got amazing opportunities for learning. Because we've got technology at our disposal. You've got a cell phone at your disposal. You have a smartphone at your disposal. You have the internet at your disposal. If you don't want reading, go on YouTube. There are audiobooks at your disposal. If you don't want to attend conferences, go on YouTube. Just be playing a video. The drive time that you have, you can actually be playing very useful material at your disposal just to grow. And when I'm saying learning, I'm not saying go and learn the things that you went to school for. No, I'm saying learn to learn things that you never formally learned. Learn a new skill. You know, I never studied marketing, I never studied sales, but that's one of the areas that I specialize in. I'm a lawyer by training, but I realize it's good to have a law degree. By the way, there are over 2,000 lawyers who are registered in Zimbabwe. What makes you stand out from the 2,000? It's not a law degree, even if it comes from Honolulu. Mine came from the University of Zimbabwe. But what's going to make you stand out is the extra that you put when everyone else is holding onto that degree. So I'm challenging you in 2023. Everyone who's listening to us right now, Vikendi, go through the year, acquire a new qualification. If it's baking, do it. If it's cooking, do it. If it's a small degree, a small qualification, or small course on HR management, do it. If it's a small training on marketing, on sales, do it. By the way, Google offers free classes on any area that you may want, including coding. You can actually learn. Go to Udemy right now on the internet. You can actually access free courses.
So you can actually use the data. Not to follow
Makua.
Makua.
So right now, if you're following my life, and you're not upgrading yourself. I didn't want to throw a lot of vernacular. Hanokukwana. So that's a symptom of someone who is not serious. When you're pursuing gossip, idle chat at the expense of your growth. Vikendi, be aggressive, be obsessive about your personal growth. Be obsessive about improving yourself. And how do you improve yourself, Vikendi? It's stepping out of the ordinary. In other words, in your case, what are the latest trends in radio? What are the latest international trends? What are the top trending people in my field globally?
Yes.
What is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? What is it that they're doing that's working in that market that I can adjust for this market? What is it that I can do differently in this particular market? The consequence, you stand out.
Oh, wow.
And once you stand out, guess what? The world will look for you, Vikendi, and the world will pay you to be you. And the next point, I want you to learn to surround yourself with smarter people. Vikendi, if you're surrounding yourself with people that when you're amongst them, you're the smartest, you're in the wrong audience, you're in the wrong group. Always be in an environment, Vikendi, that when you are there, you are constantly wondering, what am I doing? I need to do more. So
You're being challenged intellectually.
Challenged intellectually.
Yeah,
you're being
it's important.
challenged to become a better version of yourself. You're being challenged to constantly step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes, I always tell people, if the church setup that you are in, you are the biggest, you're in the wrong place. Move on to the next point so that you realize you still have got room for growth. That's why a person in one-roomed house, two-roomed house, or even renting a full house can actually be a champion. Go to bigger places.
In
where
their circle, they are champions.
those circles are going to be challenged. Those circles, Vikendi, more is going to be demanded from you. In those circles, Vikendi, you're going to be held accountable to a higher standard. And I want us to get to that point when we do that. And the final point that I want to emphasize, Vikendi, we need to be relentless about our pursuit of purpose. Who are you? What is your reason for being here? Mark Twain says that 2 important days in your life. Number 1, the day you're born. Number 2, the day you discover why. Find your why. Your growth, your standing out is connected to understanding and your knowledge about your purpose. And make these 6 things habits. They become normal. And once a habit becomes normal, guess what? It helps you develop better addictions. You become addicted to personal growth. You become addicted to personal improvement. You become addicted to the pursuit of personal excellence. And once you do that, guess what happens? You stand out. And once you stand out, you are so easy to identify.
And you're paid for being you.
Exactly. Get to a level, Vikendi, where the world is going to look for you and pay you to be you. That's excellence. That's standing out. When other people are looking for opportunities, when you stand out, guess what happens? Opportunities become normal. Right now, some people are advertising to get opportunities. Others are actually saying we're fully booked.
Yes.
Others are saying, no, we've got so much. Someone is saying, that's not even our minimum. Why? Standing out. Right now, the people with a diary that's so busy for February, March, and the people who don't even have diaries.
And that's a fact.
That's a fact. What makes you stand out? Develop these habits. They will inspire you.
Wow, Advocate Arthur Marara, thank you so much. Got a message here saying I enrolled for my 3rd degree at 42, a totally different field. I'm a pastor, agronomist, farmer, master of business administration, and soon to be advocate.
Wow.
Well done to you.
Well done.
I'm saying thanks, Madlamine, and Advocate, and powerful points, just different messages. Thank you so much, Arthur.
Thank you.
How can people get in touch with you?
I'm on WhatsApp 078 0055 152 078 0055 152. If you're outside Zimbabwe, prefix with +263. If you send that message, you get a link to some of our free groups where you can get to learn and be inspired. I'm on social media, on all social media platforms.
Arthur Marara.
Thank you. It's Arthur Marara.
Thank you so much for your
Bless you.
time.